Okay, so today we're looking at interpreting our transition matrices. So yesterday we looked at setting them up and creating them and what they were about. And now we're going to get some questions to make sure that you understand, what it is and interpreting it. So you can see here, it says the following transition matrix, and they called it T, which they often will, has a transition diagram, and it can describe the weekly pattern of a rental car company. So they're doing that, and we've still got the Albury, Wodonga and Benalla. So remember what we were saying yesterday, that these columns will add up to 1. That's what makes a transition a transition. Okay, so use the transition matrix and its transition diagram to answer the following question. So what percentage of cars rented in Wodonga each week are predicted to return to Albury? So all you have to do, you can do it a few ways. So if we were doing it in just looking at the transition, remember this is the start and then this is the end or the next one. You might say, we sometimes say now and the next thing. So if you have a look, the first one says Wodonga to Albury. So I could go, all right, I'm at Wodonga and I want to go to Albury. So it says 0.05. Now the question was percentage, so we know that's 5%. Now if you go and follow on the diagram, we were at Wodonga. So put your thing on Wodonga and you want to go to Albury, and you can see it's 5%. So you're correct, okay? So if we were saying what percentage, that's 5%. So if we look at the next one, we want to go from Wodonga to Benalla. So you follow the arrow and it says 15. I'm going to check up on my transition. So Wodonga to B, and it's 0.15, so that's good. They're both saying the same, and that means I'm probably correct. So then the last one, we want to start at Wodonga and go to Wodonga. So that means returning back. That's back on itself. So it says 80% in the diagram, and hopefully Wodonga W to W says 0.8, so that's 80%. Just be really careful on what they're asking, whether they're asking for a percentage, and so make sure you answer in a percentage and things like that. All right, so it said 200 cars were rented at Albury this week. So we're at Albury and there's 200 cars there. And then it says how many of these cars do we expect to be returned to? And that. Sorry, I'm just going to grab the transition because... Okay, so I'm sorry, I just grabbed the transition so we can see it. So we're at Albury and it says if there's 200 cars, and how many of these cars are expected to return to Albury. So what we're looking at here is the Albury to Albury, which we can see is 70%. So what you're going to say, so this is for I, you actually want 70% of that 200 go back to Albury. So when you've got a percentage like that and of, when you say the words of, in mathematics, that means times. So you can just change that to a decimal and times 200 like that. And so then we end up with 140. Okay? Now, it says in question 2, it says we want to go from Albury to Benalla. So let's have a look. So we want to go from Albury to Benalla. If I look on the diagram, it says 11%. I'm just going to check. Is it 11? Oh, sorry, 20. So that's good. So it's good to check. So Albury to Benalla is 20%. So we want 20% of the 200. So 20% of the 200. So remember that's like saying 0.2 times 200, and that equals 40. Okay, and then the last one. Okay, how many people go from Albury to Wodonga? If I look on it says 10%. Everyone agree? Albury to Wodonga? So it's 10% of 200. Sometimes I like to do it when I'm doing it. I'll go A to W, and then I go and have a look and I say, all right, it's 10%. So then I do that. So then we'll go 0.1 times 200 equals 20. Okay, so that's that one. So C, it says what percentage of the cars in Benalla each week. So we remember, start highlighting now because things can jump around to number or percentage. Now they're saying percentage. What percentage of cars rented in Benalla each week are not expected to return to Benalla? So for this question, if you think about it, we're at Benalla, and if you're not going to return to Benalla, you're either going to go out to Albury or you're going to go out to Wodonga. So if you look at what percentages are going out to that way, if you look, Benalla out to Albury is 12%, and Benalla out to Wodonga is 11%. So therefore we could say the 12% plus the 11%. So what percentage of the cars are not going to stay at Benalla? It's 23% in total. Does that make sense? So the what's not coming back, you've got to do all the categories going elsewhere. Okay, and then question D, it says 160 cars were rented in Albury this week. How many of the cars are expected to return to either Benalla or Wodonga? So this is sort of another situation. So we're saying we're at Albury and we want to know how many are going out to Benalla and Wodonga. So if we have a look, it was 20% and 10%. So it's going to be total 30% of the 160. So remember, we changed that to 0.3 times 160 equals 48. Okay, so that one, be careful. So it says how many. So when you're reading these questions, this is really important, those first few words. Like when it says how many, you need to think it's a number, yeah? And see what percentage. So if you get the habit of underlining that and while you're reading the question, so when you look at your answer, is your answer a percentage? And you go, oh no, whoops. Or is my answer a number? Because sometimes like you might have got to the 30%, you wrote 30%, but it actually said how many, okay? So just be careful with that.